Welcome back to episode 3 of Life on Wheels. Our last episode, I suggested to do the display boards with everything that you would ideally like to have in your tiny home. And you may have done 2 display boards, 3 possibly, just due to changes. Maybe you did a little research on things like your composting toilet, your fridge, your solar, your actual needs, what you really need, and what you probably maybe don't need. Maybe you can have that kind of omitted. So anyways, if you're comfortable on carrying on from that display board, and remind yourself that things will always change along the way, that nothing is written in stone at this point. It gives you a good idea of how to move on from that point. And it also gives you an idea of what to take to a builder. So this is going to be this step. So from your research on talking to other tiny home owners, if they recommended builders that possibly built their home, or anyone's that they recommended that they know or they've researched, or you've done your own research, and definitely talk to the builders, but also the homeowners if you're able to get a hold of them and see how their experience was. And if you're kind of still left in the dark on who to go with as far as builders, I've done quite a bit of research through my own experience and interest. And also, since I've already had my tiny home built, just got into the whole community of seeing what other people are doing. So following this, I actually have a few tiny home Canadian companies who will deliver into the US, most of them, but then all of them will deliver throughout Canada. And these are the ones that I highly recommend. I've spoken to homeowners that have built with every single one of these companies, whether it was just through Skype or not, or going and visually seeing it. But these are the ones that I highly recommend. And you take a look, take a screenshot so that you can research them through Instagram, Facebook, call them and contact them, and then go and see them and meet with them. And then we will talk then. And once you've done that, take a look, take a screenshot of those companies. What I would do now is start with pick a company from that list or your own list, or any other recommendations that you would want. Set up an appointment with them through either Skype. If you can do in person is always better, I feel, especially bringing your display board with you. But if anything, do a Skype or a Zoom call so that you can do face-to-face. This is a little more personal, and then you got to get to feel how the connection is, because you're going to be working together for quite a few months and planning. You really need to have a proper communication going on. So that makes a huge difference. So even just doing this, what we're doing right now, makes a big difference instead of reading it from a paragraph. So what I would do is recommend is just making yourself an appointment, bring your display board, and then at that point, I'll have a list of questions that are still basic following this skit right now. Just a basic idea of what you need to start looking at. And that display board will also help you and the company evaluate your price point. The size you need, if you were still a little bit unsure on the size of home that you may need. This will show the builder where you're at. And exactly, it'll make more of a vision, then they can work off of what you really need, and also realistic expectations of what can and cannot happen in your home. Like any build, the builder should be very open with you. If something's not going to work, they need to be upfront, but they also need to be willing to work with you and compromise as well. So following this, there will be a few questions that you can start with. And again, bring your notebook back out and write these down. Leave a lot of space for answers, and reevaluate any questions that you might have. And we will talk to you in a bit. And after you've read through those questions and you've written them down, you can also do a screenshot of that and then write them down. Add your own questions that are like very obvious for you, and anything that is starting off the conversations with the companies to really get them rolling, to see where they're at professionally, experience wise, all that kind of stuff. My biggest question that I would ask, starting over again, that I actually did not know when I first started off my tiny home journey, is that I would highly recommend going with a tiny home builder that is certified, CSA and RVIA certified. This will make your journey just getting your tiny home into the location that you want much, much easier. Whether you choose to go in the country or in town, and vice versa, that could change in the future. Your family dynamics can change. So anything, you want to leave it open, but this will make it much easier for you to get into a proper location, and get recognized as a real home, like as a real dwelling, instead of a lot of counties are having a hard time wrapping their heads around that. So that would be my number one question that I would ask, and highly recommend going with a builder who is certified. That being said, I would also, get a feel for the company, the head of the company, the people who are working there. You are going to be with these people for a few months, maybe a little bit longer. You're going to be dealing with like the stressful renovation topics. You want to have clear communication. You want to be able to understand each other, and again, be inspired by the company, them be excited about your vision, your ideas. Willing to compromise and work and figure things out is huge. It's a powerful thing. That would be my I guess third step on this whole process. Once you've probably interviewed 2 or 3 companies, I would highly recommend, even if you're already for sure about one, I would do 2 or 3 companies, even just a little 10-minute visit once you've already made up your mind, just to see what they have to offer you, see what's out there. They might have a different perspective, or a completely different question will pop into your head that's very important. So I would go through that. And then once you have decided to pick your company, go with that one, then I will make another channel, another episode to how to go from there. The company should kind of almost pick it up and kind of put a rug under you a little bit and help you, guide you along through the process. But there are some key questions that any customer and personal budgets, your personal needs, stuff like that you should also be looking out for. So there will be the following episode after that. But remember to write stuff down, write your questions down, and I will talk to you soon. And enjoy the companies and the visions and the styles and everything along the way. Enjoy what you're doing, because this is an exciting process, and it's going to be a roller coaster. You're going to be emotional most likely, because you're evaluating your life, and it's going to be a big change. So enjoy it, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.